My worst student got a perfect score. Twice. I'm not proud. I'm suspicious. This wasn't a quick quiz or a worksheet I slapped together before recess. I spent weeks building this assessment. Every distractor was deliberate. Every question mapped to actual learning outcomes. I balanced item difficulty, reduced biasing language, cross-checked for clarity and alignment, and formatted spacing so nothing looked right accidentally. I built the test using peer-reviewed principles: reliability, validity, cognitive load, Bloom's alignment, the works. It wasn't just a test. It was supposed to be proof. So when the kid who once spelt Wednesday with a Z scored 100%, I didn't think, wow, improvement. I thought, something's broken. I gave the class a 40-question multiple choice test, 4 options each, clear, structured, airtight. I finished marking them at lunch. Top of the board, him. 100%. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He didn't even react. He just sat there chewing his pen lid, staring at the clock like the whole thing was an inconvenience. And that made it worse. So the next day, I ran the test again. Same questions, different order, answers shuffled, seating shuffled, no laptops, no notes. This time, I sat him directly in front of me. So close I could hear the plastic of his chair complain when he shifted. If he cheated, I would know. He didn't. He methodically worked through the test like someone checking expiry dates at the supermarket. No hesitation, no anxiety, no visible thought. Halfway through, he stood up, handed it in, and walked out. 36 minutes before the next highest performing student. I marked it immediately. 100%. Again. At this point, my professional curiosity was wrestling with my damaged pride. So I called him in. He slouched into the chair across from me, uniform tie hanging loose like he'd lost interest halfway through wearing it. I asked politely, "How did you do so well?" He shrugged. "I just picked whatever sounded like you." I blinked. "Sorry?" He clarified, like he was explaining how to use a toaster. "You've got tails, sir." He tapped the table. Like one of the questions at the start. The wrong answer sounded like you were trying really hard to be open-minded. The real one sounded like you finally stopped pretending. I stared. He kept going. "And there was another one where you put systematically in option D. That felt like a trap. Like you thought we'd pick it because it's such a big word. So I knew that one was wrong." He was calm, neutral, almost helpful. Then he delivered the line that spiritually assassinated me. "If you wanted me to guess wrong, you should have written the wrong answers like the way you actually talk, not how you think a dumb kid talks." I swallowed. "And the first test?" I asked. He frowned, genuinely confused. "You said you lost them, sir. Isn't that why we did it again?" He wasn't defending himself. He wasn't smug. He wasn't even aware of the scale of the psychological damage he'd caused. Then he stood up and left, still spinning his tie. The next Friday, parent-teacher meeting. Mum sat politely, hands folded. Dad sat in the back in a high-vis vest, confident, comfortable, unimpressed in a way only someone who works real jobs can be. I went through everything. The perfect score, the retest, the supervision, the outcome. When I finished, Dad frowned. So let me get this straight. He pointed at his son, now poking the metal end of his tie into the air like he was conducting an imaginary orchestra. He did your test. He smashed it. You made him do it again. He smashed it again. And now you're upset because he figured you out? I tried to say something educational, measured, professional. He didn't give me the chance. Sometimes, mate, you can be too smart for your own bloody good. Then, the finishing blow. Aren't teachers always going on about focusing what the kids can do, not what they can't? Well, looks like he can do this. He stood, adjusted his vest, looked at me. Not angry, not smug, just honest. You picked the game, he played it better. You don't get to lose your own game and crack the shits. And with that, they stood up and left. His son trailing behind, still bored, still fidgeting with the tie, still completely unaware he'd dismantled an entire worldview. I sat alone with my perfect, meticulously constructed research-aligned assessment and realized the only thing it successfully measured was me.